In 1948, a man named Charles Lazarus opened a baby furniture store called Children's Bargain Town. The company started selling toys, and the demand for them grew. Charles Lazarus, a smart businessman, noted that furniture was quite sturdy and durable, but toys tended to be just the opposite. The focus of the business soon turned to toys, and in 1957, Toys R Us was born. In 1978, Toys R Us went public, and 5 years later, a logical expansion was made with the founding of Kids R Us, a clothing store for children. Unfortunately, in September of 2017, Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy. Now, this is a company that started 60 years ago, with even wider roots, and has become the standard for toys over the past 3 decades. If I were to do a survey today and ask people to name a toy store, the number one answer on the board would be Toys R Us, and this company has filed for bankruptcy. So how did this happen? The short answer is that they have too much debt. But then the real question arises in my mind, how did they get so far in debt? Well, let's try to figure out this one together. Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Today, I'll be talking about some details that led to the eventual collapse of Toys R Us. But before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and push that notification bell so you never miss any new uploads. Done? Alright then, let's begin. Bankruptcy. Toys R Us filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in September 2005 after years of declining sales and rising debt. There's something that happened between 2005 and 2006 that led to the downfall of the company. As already mentioned, the company went private in 2005 through a leveraged buyout. To explain precisely, a leveraged buyout is when you buy a company using lots of debt. While strong price competition from mass retailers Walmart, Amazon, and Target have contributed to the company's issues, experts openly blame the management of the brand. They said Toys R Us failed to renew its business model, integrate technology, or adapt to changing consumer behaviors. The retailer's history from the dominance of the big boxes to liquidation, apart from a last-minute rescue by an outsider, is long, and the people who run the retailer stores have seen it firsthand. Over the past 3 decades, Toys R Us has built a devoted team of about tens of thousands of employees. Many of them have been surprised by the liquidation of the company, if not its bankruptcy. Failure to adapt. Amid the rising tide of e-commerce, global business, and the shift from gaming to online gaming, Toys R Us failed to adapt and take over. As times changed rapidly, the big company remained pretty much the same. When big is synonymous with slow or little to no change, being big is a disadvantage in the business environment. Toys R Us couldn't keep up with the changes that the business world was going through. The company also lost momentum because it was not ahead of technology, unlike its competitors who used technology and innovation to adapt to the changing preferences and buying habits of the new generations. The stores have not made a sustained effort to present themselves more appealingly and attractively. The fact is that it allowed big competitors like Walmart and Target to rely solely on toys to make profits and offer the same products but at a better price. In the toy industry, brand loyalty is for the manufacturer, not the supplier. When competitors offered toys with low margins or as loss leaders during the holiday season and offered aggressive online shipping options, Toys R Us was unable to keep up. Partnership with Amazon. In 2000, Toys R Us entered into a 10-year partnership with Amazon to become Amazon's exclusive toy seller. The partnership asked Toys R Us to pay Amazon $50 million annually, plus a percentage of sales. The joint toy store was a success, but had serious consequences for Toys R Us. On the one hand, the agreement meant that Toys R Us did not have an independent online presence. Customers who tried to visit ToysRUs.com were redirected to Amazon. Second, when Amazon saw how well it was working, it began to expand its toy and baby categories and other retailers, including competitors to Toys R Us, who began selling the same products on Amazon. While this contract with Amazon, Toys R Us didn't feel the need to develop its own e-commerce capabilities. It was later regretted. Despite contractual obligations, Amazon allowed other vendors to sell toys on its website. In response, Toys R Us sued Amazon in 2004 for a breach of contract, receiving $51 million as well as the opportunity to terminate the contract. When Toys R Us finally had an e-commerce website, it was too late to change anything, and it was littered with technical flaws that frustrated customers. Inexperienced management. Opened in 2001, the international flagship store in New York's Times Square has been the main draw for children of all ages. The store included various themed areas, such as an arcade, Barbie, electronics, Jurassic Park, Lego, Wonka, and the signature indoor Ferris wheel. It was the ultimate toy retail experience that attracted thousands of tourists for over a decade. The store was closed in 2015. To reduce expenses, the management of Toys R Us lowered costs. Only they cut themselves in the wrong places, like the store, the employees, and the retail stores. The company parted ways with its experienced employees, and the remaining employees struggled with increasing workload. Without maintenance or cleaning services, the Toys R Us stores suffocated in their own dust and succumbed to an oversupply of inventory. Retail business grows at the store level. Toys R Us gave its customers reasons to avoid shopping in their stores. Lack of innovation. The lack of innovation of Toys R Us also had to play a role in all of this. In a world where kids can use a mobile app to distort their faces or turn them into superheroes, Toys R Us' answer was to create new gear. Basically, it has not adapted to new technology, but has only incorporated them into the regular business. Competitors like Build-A-Bear that could adapt to changing times were more attractive to the customers. The company offered the opportunity to bathe a bear built online in a virtual tub. It was more interactive in that you could choose your own individual sound for the bear. In the end, a series of organizational derailments and failures led to the collapse of a company that was once synonymous with the term game. It's important to note that it's not a single factor that's to blame, but a cascade of causes, from the lack of adaptation to the ever-changing retail market to not incorporating major technological advances into the user experience. All of these led to the downfall of Toys R Us. Lack of imagination. There wasn't much needed to save the declining fate of Toys R Us. They just needed to do something to update what they were offering. The cartoon character on the logo of the company from the 1990s, Jeffrey the Giraffe, should have gone long ago. The company should have put kids' imagination front and center. It no more felt like a children's place. Even if the store was not ready to give up on its ideas and themes, it should have done something extra to satisfy customers and should have been less functional and more on trend. They just needed some spark. The general feeling that they were giving was not at all fun and was very boring. It was no more interesting for kids. One of the saddest things is that they reserve the right to check your bags as you leave the store. Now that is one of the most pathetic things one would do in a toy shop. It makes your customer feel devalued, and that bond does not develop. A toy store should be a place of joy. Toys R Us was not keeping up with those expectations. Its downfall was not inevitable, it's just that they weren't dynamic enough. Terrible timing. The fact that Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy in September instead of shortly after the Christmas business turned out to be fatal. It was extremely unlucky. At a time when the company had to focus mainly on running a strong holiday season, the bankruptcy case was an epic distraction. And not only for managers and employees, also for the customers. Americans are used to visiting bankrupt companies. Several airlines and car companies have survived bankruptcies. The reliability of the company's services is much more important than good toys. But in an industry where returns and gift cards are becoming increasingly important, any reason to question a retailer's future during the holidays is enough. It would have been ideal to file for bankruptcy after the holidays, but the company was effectively forced to act after rumors of fighting. It led suppliers to temporarily tighten product conditions for fear of high losses. Modern kids. As the world is evolving, kids are changing too. The modern world is more digitalized. These days, a 9-year-old can easily download an app on his iPad and use it to make him look like Spider-Man in seconds. Retail stores can't keep up with this kind of technology. Birthday presents these days are all tech-related, and people no more give toys as a present. Toys R Us was unable to get into tech successfully. Modern kids today seek experiences rather than possessions. So instead of a trip to a toy store, a kid would prefer a trampolining park, go-karting, laser tag. However, the digital ecosystem can be an opportunity as well as a challenge. It depends on your ability to use your imagination for your benefit. Kids these days are always on YouTube. they watch a lot of stuff there. It isn't that hard for retailers to spot current fashions. For instance, the latest trend for making slime was in, and retailers easily capitalized on that. Fidget spinners also had their craze, and most stores introduced interesting varieties to attract kids. But Toys R Us failed to match the vibe of the modern generation. There is still hope. As the competition overtook Toys R Us in size and sales, it was able to do to Toys R Us what it had done to others: undercut its prices, offer an extensive selection of toys, and provide a better shopping experience. Toys R Us is seemingly rising from the grave with new clothing stores and 8 more planned stores. The company transforms its in-store experience into an interactive, strategic experience complemented by a digital experience. However, the tactic of outsourcing the online experience to Target, as was the case with Amazon 20 years ago, calls into question whether the brand can once again exist on its own and dominate the toy industry. After many failures, Toys R Us was finally sold to True Kids. In 2019, True Kids opened 2 Toys R Us pop-up stores. However, they recently closed them due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, there are over 900 Toys R Us stores in 25 countries around the world, but you won't see any of them in the United States. These stores, along with the brand websites, generate $2 billion in revenue every year. Recently, WHP Global took a keen interest in True Kids and expressed its plans to open Toys R Us stores again in North America before the holiday season. They plan to open these stores in malls with heavy customer traffic, offering them the best toy experience that people yearn for. They want to make it as interesting as they can. So let's see where Toys R Us's fate takes us after such a demise. If they adopt strategic changes, things can get hopeful for them in the future. However, Toys R Us's journey has been a good lesson for similar companies who are facing similar failures. They should avoid the mistakes of Toys R Us and should keep evolving with time by adopting technical changes. And that was all for today's video. If you did like it, consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. And while you are at it, why not share it with your friends? And with that said, I'll see you in the next one.